This is about the money. Two people from your family are taking all the wealth you didn't even know was yours. Archangel Michael says, this message is not one you can ignore, for the shadows have already moved against you, and the steps that two members of your very own family are taking have been carefully hidden in silence. The moment you hear these words, you will feel the shiver of truth moving through you, because what they are doing behind closed doors is more than a betrayal, it is a theft of something far greater than money. They are moving with greed, with quiet hands, believing you will remain blind until everything is gone. The air has been heavy around you, hasn't it? That strange unease, that inner warning, the silent pull that something is not right, it has not been your imagination. For months, the energy around you has been shifting, almost whispering that secrets live nearby, that something meant for you is being touched, signed, and divided without your permission. These two people from your family are not strangers, not outsiders, but close enough to know your silence could be used as their weapon. What they are doing is far from accidental, it is deliberate, carefully woven, and meant to leave you empty-handed while they smile and call it fate. Papers are being shifted, documents are being drawn, and the inheritance or financial blessing that heaven placed in your path is being rewritten, as though you never existed in the story. Their plan is not only about wealth, it is about control, about pushing you out of what is rightfully yours, about making sure you remain powerless while they take everything. You must understand this. Archangel Michael has broken the silence so you would not fall into their trap without warning. He is lifting the veil, exposing the secret before it becomes too late, before your name is erased from what was meant to sustain you, before your future is tied in chains forged by their greed. And if you are listening now, it means heaven has chosen you to rise, to see, and to prepare before the final move is made. The two people who are weaving this against you are acting as though their bloodline to you gives them the right to betray. One carries a cold ambition, the kind that smiles in front of others but whispers of plans in private. The other is the follower, the one who doesn't speak much, but signs when asked, helps when instructed, and obeys without hesitation. Together, they are playing a dangerous game, taking risks with spiritual fire, because they believe no one will ever expose them. But Archangel Michael does not remain silent when such acts are moving. His sword of truth is cutting through the fog, revealing the steps they've already taken. It may shock you to realize just how far this has gone. This is not in its beginning stages, the foundation has already been set. They have spoken with lawyers, they have whispered with advisors, they have even looked through old records that you may have forgotten existed, digging out pieces of your life to turn against you. The deeper you listen, the more you will realize how real this warning is. Think about the signs you've seen, those unusual conversations you weren't meant to hear, the sudden change in how certain relatives look at you, the odd silence when your name is mentioned in matters of money or property. It is all connected. None of it has been random. They are already deep inside the plan, and they believe you will not wake up until the final paper is sealed. This is why you were called here, to receive this revelation before time escapes you. Archangel Michael is urging you not to dismiss the unease you've felt, because it is heaven's alarm bell ringing inside your spirit. They thought their secret could survive in darkness, but light always arrives, and truth always finds its way into the open. You are not alone in this. Heaven has already sent protection around you, even as the hands of your family try to strip away what belongs to you. The money at the center of this is not small. It is not something that can be overlooked. It is an amount tied to your destiny, a provision meant to elevate you, to secure your future, to bless the path you are walking. That is why the betrayal cuts so deep, because this wealth was meant to strengthen your steps, not to be stolen by the hands of those who pretend to love you while plotting behind your back. Their greed has blinded them. They do not see that what they are attempting is not just theft of paper or property, it is theft against divine alignment. Heaven placed this provision for you because of who you are, because of the battles you've endured, because of the responsibilities that weigh upon you. But their hearts have turned cold, their eyes fixed only on gain, and so they are willing to cut you out as though you were never part of the bloodline they claim to protect. Archangel Michael says, this warning is meant to awaken you, not to fill you with fear, but to stir your courage. For the enemy often hides in familiar faces, and deception often comes wrapped in smiles. These two family members have been weaving for months, perhaps even longer, ensuring that when the moment comes, you will feel powerless to stop it. But you are not powerless, you are being armed with knowledge before it is too late. Even now, their steps are accelerating. They feel the clock ticking, and they know if you find out too soon, their plan collapses. That is why heaven has intervened, pulling back the curtain before the final strike. You must not let their silence keep you blind. This is your wake-up call, your sign that something bigger than you imagined is unfolding right under your nose. The plot against you has roots in envy. One of them has always looked at you with quiet resentment, always comparing, always calculating, always finding reasons to believe you had more than you deserved. That envy has now turned into greed, and greed has now turned into action. And the other, the second person, has tied themselves to the plan, unable to resist the chance to take what was never theirs. They meet in secret, their conversations carefully guarded, their decisions hidden under the surface of family gatherings and casual words. But behind those smiles, their eyes give them away, for they know what they are doing cannot survive exposure. They are desperate to make their move quickly, before you realize what has been unfolding. And yet, here you are, listening to the voice of warning before the trap fully closes. Do you see now why you were guided here? Do you feel why the unease in your spirit has been growing heavier each day? It is because heaven was pushing you toward this moment, so you would not remain silent while your inheritance is swallowed whole. Archangel Michael is standing between you and their plan now, but you must not turn away from the truth. This wealth is tied to your purpose, and losing it would not only hurt you, it would shift the path that heaven had prepared for your steps. That is why the angels are sounding the alarm so fiercely, for this betrayal cannot succeed unless you remain blind to it. The hands of these two family members are not clean. They have dipped into things that were never meant for them, crossing boundaries they know deep down should never be crossed. They tell themselves it is justified, that no one will notice, that what they are taking is theirs by right, but their whispers are dripping with guilt, even as they try to silence their own conscience. They have looked at records that carried your name. They have touched papers you should have been the one to sign. They have smiled through family moments as if nothing were wrong, but all the while they were quietly calculating how to erase you from the very future you were promised. Archangel Michael says, their plan is not just about money, it is about stripping you of power. It is about ensuring you remain silent, broken, and unable to claim what heaven intended for you. They have mistaken your silence for weakness, and your trust for ignorance, and that is why this warning is shaking them even as you receive it. Do not ignore this stirring inside of you. The very reason you are here now, hearing these words, is because the betrayal has reached a dangerous stage. Time is short, and heaven is saying, "Awaken now, for what they are taking has already begun to shift hands." Type Amen to get blessing 1111. One of them, the leader, hides behind charm. They know how to smile, how to speak sweetly, how to convince others that they are trustworthy. But beneath that charm is calculation, and every move they've made has been toward pushing you out of what belongs to you. The other is quieter, almost invisible, but do not mistake silence for innocence. This one provides the support, the witness, the agreement, and without their presence, the betrayal could not stand. Together, they are moving like a shadowed pair, circling you while pretending to walk beside you. They know that money is not just numbers. Money is power, it is influence, it is access, it is freedom. And by taking what was meant for you, they are attempting to cut off your future, to control what opportunities you will or will not have. But Archangel Michael is not standing aside. His presence is roaring against their silence, his light is piercing the hidden corners of their plan. That is why you feel this urgency now, because heaven will not allow this betrayal to succeed without first giving you the chance to rise. The greed that drives them is old, rooted in years of comparison, envy, and desire. They have watched you endure, they have seen blessings flow to you, and instead of rejoicing, they let bitterness fester in their hearts. That bitterness is what has now turned into a hand reaching into what was never theirs. You may not realize how close they are to finalizing everything. They have already taken steps to make sure their names replace yours. They have already reached out to those who hold influence in matters of money and property. Their plan is more than talk, it is action. This is not a distant warning. This is not something that might happen years from now. This is something that is unfolding right now, under your nose, while you are still being kept in the dark. And yet, heaven always arrives on time. Archangel Michael's voice is breaking the silence, tearing the veil, and showing you what has been hidden. If you are hearing this, it is because the truth could no longer remain buried. They believe they are safe because they have covered their tracks. They believe their lies will hold, that their secrecy will keep them protected. But no deception can stand in the presence of divine light. You have felt it already, the strange glances, the incomplete conversations, the words that stop when you enter the room. These are not coincidences. These are cracks in their silence, signs that something has been concealed from you. The wealth they are trying to steal carries more than financial value. It carries spiritual weight, because it was placed in your path as part of your divine provision. To take it is to attempt to rewrite destiny, and that is why this betrayal is so dangerous. Archangel Michael says, the time for silence is over. You must see, you must know, you must awaken. Their plan cannot succeed unless you remain asleep, and that is why this revelation is cutting through the fog right now. They have convinced themselves that you will never discover the truth. In their minds, the plan is already flawless, the signatures already lined up, and the pieces already locked into place. What they do not realize is that Archangel Michael has seen every hidden step, every whispered word, and every silent meeting. This is why the heaviness around you has been building. It is not just emotion, it is spiritual awareness, your soul sensing the theft before your eyes could see it. That tightening in your chest, those restless nights, the strange moments of distraction, they were not accidents. The wealth they are targeting is more than numbers in an account or lines on a paper. It is tied to your survival, to your ability to stand strong, to your future security. They are attempting to cut you off from something meant to sustain you and your path ahead. Archangel Michael says, your silence has protected them until now. But heaven's voice has entered, and their false safety is ending. They may still believe they are hidden, but their shadows are collapsing in the light of this revelation. One of them is bold, always pretending to care for you. They ask questions, but not to help, only to measure, to track how close you are to realizing the truth. This person knows how to look you in the eyes and smile, even while their hand is reaching behind your back. The second stands just behind, almost invisible, almost forgotten. They are the supporter, the one who provides the balance, the one who adds weight to the betrayal by agreeing, signing, and holding secrets tightly. Without this second person, the betrayal would fall apart. Together, they have become a pair of shadows walking in daylight. You may think they stand beside you, but the truth is they stand against you. Their loyalty has been replaced by greed, and their bond with you has been severed by desire for control. But even as they plot, the angels surround you. Light has been placed like a shield around your spirit. And the truth is now stepping forward, giving you time to stand before everything they are trying to build collapses into ash. Type Amen to get blessing 666. They have already tried to erase your name in hidden places. They have looked at papers you should have held in your own hands. They have worked behind doors that you were never invited to enter. Their whispers have been the sound of a trap tightening. What they do not realize is that no matter how many doors they close, heaven opens another for you. Archangel Michael does not allow betrayal to win without resistance. He moves swiftly, cutting away the illusions they thought would stand. You must not underestimate how serious this has become. The time for waiting is over. You are being shown the truth because the betrayal is too deep to ignore. The money, the property, the inheritance, they are all at stake. What was meant to be yours is in danger of vanishing. But this warning is the weapon that destroys their silence. Every step they take is a gamble with their souls. They believe they are gaining power, but they are sowing destruction. Their greed blinds them, keeping them from seeing how close they are to being exposed. They think of you as unaware. They count on your trust, on your quiet nature, on your patience. But what they forget is that patience is not weakness, it is strength, and now that strength is rising. The moment you became aware, everything began to shift. The energy around their plans started to crumble. The light of Archangel Michael has already begun to push back the shadows they hid behind. This is your sign, your moment, your awakening. Heaven has made sure you are not left blind. You are being called to rise, to claim, to protect, and to prepare. They thought they could keep you in the dark forever. In their minds, you were too trusting, too distracted, too distant from the details to ever notice what was slipping away. But what they failed to see is that heaven never allows a chosen one to be robbed without sending a warning in time. The papers have already been touched. The signatures are being prepared. The conversations have been had in silence, away from your presence, in rooms you were never meant to enter. These are not small attempts, they are deliberate steps designed to erase you from what belongs to you. Archangel Michael says, this betrayal has reached a critical point. The lies are stacked high, the greed is burning stronger, and the trap is almost ready to close. But the angels have moved faster, tearing away the mask and showing you the faces behind it before it is too late. This is not just about keeping what is yours, it is about breaking a cycle of silence in your family. Others may have been betrayed before, others may have lost without knowing, but you are being given the chance to stop it now. The leader of this plan is restless. They are constantly calculating, double-checking, ensuring that no detail is left exposed. Their ambition is sharp, and they believe that by cutting you out, they are securing their own power. The follower is quieter, but their loyalty is poisoned. They know what is happening, and yet they choose to agree, to nod, to hold the door open for betrayal. This second person acts as the shadow, making sure the leader's moves never stand alone. They have even begun speaking to people outside the family, pulling strings, and weaving stories to justify their actions. To outsiders, they pretend they are rightful, pretending you are distant or undeserving. Every lie they speak is another chain they are wrapping around your name. But chains cannot hold against divine fire. Every falsehood, every trick, every whisper is being burned away by the light that now surrounds you. This revelation is their collapse, and your awakening. The money itself is large, far larger than you may realize. It was meant to open doors, to give you strength, to allow you freedom from struggles that have pressed you down for too long. They know its value, that is why they are fighting so hard to take it away from you. They sit together, whispering in shadows, believing that secrecy will protect them. They rewrite the story of your life with pens dipped in deception. They are so sure you will never see the truth. But you have seen it now. The veil is gone. Their safety is collapsing, and their lies are unraveling even as you hear these words. Archangel Michael is standing over this situation like a shield, declaring that no hidden plan can survive once light enters. The truth is here, and you are not blind anymore. Every action they take has consequences. They may believe they are safe, but already cracks are forming in their plan. Papers are slipping, details are being noticed, and the very people they trusted to help them are beginning to doubt. They wanted to erase your name, but it cannot be erased. They wanted to silence your presence, but it cannot be silenced. They wanted to steal what was yours, but heaven has already marked it with your destiny. This warning is more than protection, it is empowerment. It is the fire that awakens you to claim what is rightfully yours. It is the voice that says, rise, stand, and refuse to let them take from you again. Archangel Michael says, you are not a victim, you are the one who survives, who resists, who overcomes. And this betrayal will not end with their victory, but with your strength shining brighter than ever before. Type Amen to get blessing 444. They sit in shadows, convinced their silence will protect them. Every move they make is hidden under layers of secrecy, but no secret survives forever. Their plan is heavy with lies, and lies always collapse under their own weight. You were never meant to remain blind. The unease you have carried in your chest, the strange heaviness that has followed you, it has been heaven whispering that something was wrong. You sensed it before you knew it, because your spirit cannot be fooled. Archangel Michael says, these two have already reached the point of no return. The money, the property, the inheritance, they have already tried to divide it, already spoken words to erase your name, already smiled in your face while sealing your absence on paper. This betrayal is not far away. It is here. It is moving now, and that is why you are hearing this message today. They believe they are clever, but cracks are forming. One of them has grown careless, speaking too loudly, almost exposing the plan in a moment of arrogance. The other watches nervously, fearing that the silence will not hold. Their greed has made them reckless. They rush their steps, afraid you will wake up before they finish. In their rush, they are leaving traces, details that heaven has already exposed to the angels. And those traces are what will undo them. Their confidence is breaking, their secrecy is crumbling, their lies are burning in the fire of truth. Already, their shadows are trembling in the light. They may think they are in control, but you are the one who has been chosen to rise. You are the one who has been given sight, and with sight comes power. They want to take everything that belongs to you. They want to hold it in their hands as if it was theirs all along. They want to rewrite the story of your life, cutting you out as though you were never there. But they cannot remove what heaven has written. They cannot erase your divine signature. They cannot take from you what has already been sealed by destiny. Their actions are like a thief breaking into a house built on stone. It is only a matter of time before their hands are crushed under the very foundation they tried to break. Their greed has blinded them, and they cannot see the destruction they are calling onto themselves. Archangel Michael surrounds you now, declaring that you will not be powerless, that you will not be empty, that you will not be erased. This truth is your weapon. This message is your shield. One of them is desperate for recognition. They believe wealth will give them the power they always felt they lacked. They want to prove themselves by holding what was meant for you. The other is ruled by fear. They follow because they are too weak to stand alone. They fear losing the little they have, so they cling to the betrayal as if it will save them. Together, they are bound by greed and fear, a dangerous chain, but one that will soon shatter. For what they do not realize is that every step against you is a step into their own downfall. And already, the angels have moved ahead of them. Their trap is collapsing, their silence is breaking, and their greed is turning into exposure. They sit across from each other, plotting in whispers, thinking no one can hear. Every detail is spoken like a secret oath, but their words do not vanish into the air. Heaven hears every syllable. The betrayal they think is hidden has already been carried into the light. You may have noticed how their behavior has shifted. The leader has grown bold, carrying themselves with arrogance, as though their victory is already sealed. The follower, however, is uneasy, glancing nervously whenever the topic of money arises, their silence betraying more than their words. Archangel Michael says, these two are stepping into quicksand without realizing it. Every move they take is sinking them deeper, and the very wealth they are trying to steal is becoming the weight that will drag them down. Their greed is now their weakness, their silence their downfall. This is why your awareness matters. The moment you see the truth, the power of their secrecy shatters. The trap only works in darkness, but now light has been poured across it, and they are no longer hidden. Their steps are not only greedy, they are desperate. One of them has debts, quiet struggles they never confessed, and this betrayal is their escape. They want your inheritance to patch the holes in their sinking ship. The other has long been consumed by jealousy. They see what you carry, the strength you hold, and they cannot stand it. To them, taking what is yours is not just about money, it is about breaking your spirit. But Archangel Michael stands as your shield. He does not allow your spirit to be broken. What they try to take in silence will only return to you in divine abundance. Even now, their plan shakes. Heaven is dismantling their foundation brick by brick. What they thought was secure is already slipping through their hands. They thought you would remain blind until the very end. They counted on your trust, on your quiet nature, on your willingness to let others lead. But what they forgot is that silence does not mean blindness, and trust does not mean weakness. The truth is now open. You are awake. You are watching as the shadows they hid behind dissolve under the weight of light. Every contract they attempted, every signature they pushed forward, every whispered lie is now burning. The fire of truth consumes all deception, and their plan cannot survive it. Archangel Michael says, "This is your moment to claim what is yours. This is your time to rise, to stand, to hold the inheritance heaven placed in your path." Their betrayal does not end with your loss, it ends with your victory. They do not yet realize how exposed they are. They still move with the arrogance of those who believe they are untouchable. But cracks have already spread through their disguise. Their words are leaking, their actions being noticed, their secrecy falling apart. You may already sense who they are. Their faces are familiar, their closeness undeniable, and that is why the betrayal cuts so deep. It is not the act of strangers, it is the act of family. But heaven sees everything. Archangel Michael has pierced through their shadows, and the truth is no longer hidden. No matter how much they fight, no matter how much they hide, their hands are already stained, and their silence is breaking. This is your protection. This is your sign. What was meant for you cannot be stolen, because it carries the mark of destiny. Type Amen to get blessing 1212.